Welcome everybody. Welcome to another episode of Spiritual Sessions with
Debbie Creagh and
Norwood Young. Thanks everybody for tuning in. It's a wonderful, wonderful Sunday.
It is. It really
It's been
is.
a crazy. Did I say crazy?
Yeah, crazy, but it's also been crazy.
It's been a crazy week, guys. It's been a week of manifestations happening. It's been a week of a couple disappointments, but with upsides.
Yeah, I would say more the universe moving the furniture around to create room for something else.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Okay. Furniture. So listen, I would like to begin the show by granting an apology, because last week I dropped the F-bomb. Now, personally, it's just a word, and if anyone knows about the walk that we walk, there's no malintent or damning or cursing a person involved in it. It's just the F-bomb. But for those who are offended and are extremely spiritual to a point that you allow words to affect who you are spiritually, then I apologize. But for those of us who realize that words are mere words unless you're cursing someone, then, alright, I won't say it. I won't say it. So, but to whomever persons that I've offended by dropping the F-bomb last week, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm never sorry. I'm not that big. But I apologize. I'm not sorry. Y'all are sorry to you.
No,
You're not sorry.
Where the people offended?
You cute tonight, girl.
Thank
Go ahead, girl. But yeah, there was somebody from one of the spiritual groups that watched who said, no profanity. That wasn't profane by any means.
Oh, it was done in jest.
It was done in jest because I did something that got caught up in the mind. I got passionate about the spirituality, and that's how it came out.
It was done through humor, actually. Yeah, it was done.
So before we get into it, what I like to do is encourage everyone to subscribe to our YouTube page, Spiritual Sessions, on YouTube, because we are trying to reach a goal of 1,000 followers on YouTube so that we can go from YouTube live.
Yes.
Because it's a greater platform, and I can drop the F-bomb if I want to.
Please make sure that it's Spiritual Sessions Live with one of the episode numbers beside it, because there's another one there that's kind of like in
Well, we need to delete that.
We need to delete that.
So which one should they go to?
The Spiritual Sessions Live number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just make sure a number is beside it with one of the episodes, and then it's perfect.
Everything she said.
Yeah.
But share and subscribe. So
Yeah.
that's how you subscribe. Now, right now, even if you choose not to watch our show for the whole hour, share it with your friends. There's a share button somewhere on your phone or your device. Just push share and encourage your friends to watch Debbie and myself as we move forward with spirituality for dummies.
Yes, we've had a lot of people over the last week call us and congratulate us and say that this show actually really puts a smile on their face.
Good,
that they love our craziness, they love our authenticity, that we're very unique.
They love whose craziness? Your craziness. You're not crazy.
Really?
Really?
Oh,
Really?
All right.
No, but guys, listen, the feedback, 98.9% of the feedback has been absolutely wonderful.
Oh, it's been.
Some people say the show's too long, the other person
No,
too
there's
long.
none of that.
Yes, yeah, well, not anymore, but initially, but my point is, it's all great.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about, the internet is you watch it later, because I think it's long too, but, you back.
You don't. It feels like 10 minutes to us because we have a good time.
While we're doing it, but when I try to have a watch party, by the way, we have watch parties too, but when I go to watch a watch party, I'm like, damn, this is long. Oh, should I say that?
No, down is okay.
All right. Yeah, but anyway, so listen, share and subscribe. So let us start, because we're going to go back into some manifestation things, and we're going to go back into the letting go, because you had a situation that happened this week, right? Yeah. And then one of our viewers called in with a topic last week that I'd like to talk about tonight. And also, if you guys have topics or any suggestions, please feel free to share them with us. Because even while you're watching, if you have a topic that you'd like for Debbie and I to discuss from both of our sides, we'd love to do that. So let's talk a little bit about manifestation.
Yay!
We are sitting in proof positive of manifestation. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we are in a different location.
We are.
/ Moore's new condo. Yeah. So yeah. And
congratulations.
Thank you so much.
This place is amazing.
It's warm. Well, see, the thing about the other place is it felt like a high-end hotel.
Yeah.
And it was very nice. But this place feels like home.
Yeah.
It feels like home. All the signs, my special number 9s all over the place. It's just wonderful. And then, as you all knew about the tragedy of Guru, you knew about the tragedy of Guru. Well, on the day that I moved in, which was last night, today, Phoenix. Phoenix. Okay, when Phoenix is done doing whatever he's doing down there, Phoenix! He'll join us. I want to introduce you to my little kid, Phoenix. And he's absolutely a wonderful...
Oh, he's a joy. He really is.
Well, he's a joy now because the dog, and I use the term dog lightly, bit me earlier, and I called him, and he was a Cujo. For those of you in America, I know you know who Cujo is, but for those of you here that don't know who Cujo is, you don't know. Hey, say hi to our producer, Sally. Hi, Sally, say hi to the people.
Hi.
Yeah. So Sally doesn't know who Cujo was. Cujo was a demon-possessed dog. And I scared my dog today while brushing him, and he bit me on my finger.
Oh no.
Yeah, he drew blood and everything. So my immediate reaction was calling people back, rescuing people back, come get this dog. But then I thought about it because he was so sweet and is so sweet, I had to think about what I did. Because come on, say hi. Come say hi to the people. Come say hi. Come say hi. Say hi. Say hi. So this is Phoenix. Say hi to the people, Snuggles. Yes. So I'm saying all of those things to talk about the fact that manifestation really does work.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It really does work.
100%. Yeah.
Hey baby.
Yes. So this is the direct result of your manifestations and our manifestations. And I'm taking the time really honestly to say thank you. And for those of you who don't know what manifestation really is or how it works, tell them that.
Well, we're actually manifesting all the time through what we project out, what kind of our wishes, our goals, if in a positive way, or we're actually manifesting our fears. So depending on how strong your belief system and your thought forms are, is what you're actually, how you create your reality, what your energy goes into the strongest. And the great thing is there is a way of actually putting out what you want into the world and changing your reality. You don't have to stay in the same reality all the time. It's very easy to change it. So it's really just about picking something that's really important to you, because the more important it is, the more emotion and energy you can put into it. And start small, right? We're practicing this all the time so we can manifest big things. But for some people who are starting out, allow yourself to start with small things so when they happen for you, it gives you more confidence to try for the big stuff as well.
Most certainly. Mm-hmm. Oh, and I forgot, I got my new band. Hollywood Soul Band. Oh my gosh. So if you guys are in Bangkok, you gotta come down to Maggie Cheese because the band is amazing. Okay.
It's fantastic.
I'm like over the moon with all of my manifestations this week.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, and what? Oh, shoot, I don't even have it. Sally, guess what I found here coming on the way here last night? Oh. So I dare not go and pull out my feather collection because someone in the room is on the sofa and not the dog gets a little jealous because spirits spoils me, and it's okay.
I had a situation the other day where I was going through some paperwork, actually throwing paperwork away because I don't need it anymore. Yes. And I was cleaning out and I cleaned the floor. And I went to work and I came home, and there in front of me it was the most beautiful feather. Remember that feather I showed you? Really like fluffy. But I don't know how it got there, because I had cleaned the place, I'd swept the floor, came home, and it was right in front of me.
Wow.
I know, weird.
That's
Very
beautiful.
strange. It was beautiful, yeah.
Listen, tell everyone about, just in terms of us continuing to tell people how they should let go of things.
Okay, so when we're, especially, you mean as manifestation?
No!
Oh, let go.
My God.
Oh, you mean the situation.
Are
Okay.
you a real mom?
Okay.
Wait, let me go back and tell. So we've been talking about the power of forgiveness and the benefits of letting things go in your life. And Debbie told me the other day of a specific situation of someone who was refusing to let it go, and after they had a spiritual session with Debbie, which you can do online as well. Cheap plug, right?
Yes.
Having a spiritual session with Deb, things have changed.
Yeah, so basically there is a man in another country, and he had a business partner do things in business that were really not okay, and he had a problem with the way this man conducted himself in business. So he eventually moved this man out of his company, and this man took revenge and did all these things, spread all this word about him, gossip about him, and tried to destroy his business. And that was 2 years ago, and he's now in a place in his business which is really bad, and he's not moving forward, and he's just very, very frustrated because he's got a family. And so when we delved into it during the spiritual sessions, the irony was this man was still carrying the resentment and the hurt of what this other man did, but he's also not doing something very good in business himself because he felt he needed to do certain things to save the business, which actually weren't really good.
Okay.
So he got himself into a situation, and he's been pedaling out of control ever since, rather than realize this is not okay, I have to fix it. So when we delved into it, it was really nothing to do about his business at all. It was about letting go, learning about what he was supposed to learn from this man coming into his life, and letting go of it and moving forward. And when we went in after the spiritual session, he said, I don't understand why I feel lots of hope and I feel better, yet my situation hasn't changed. And I said, but it's never about the situation in front of us, it's about how we feel inside of us.
Right.
So once you change that and let go of what's hurting you, or you let go of that person's grip on you and the energy of resistance to moving forward.
Right.
So he could see all these ways of moving forward. Finally, it was like the curtains were pulled and he could see again.
Right.
So it's really important, guys, to not carry something that's, because you're letting the other person win. That's 2 years.
Yeah, and in America we use a term that we're allowing people to take up free rent in our
Exactly. Exactly.
You see?
Yeah, exactly. So he was so busy, as you said, mind your business. He was so worried about what everybody else was believing and thinking about him that it consumed him for 2 years.
Right.
So I said, where do you expect the energy to come from to manifest your business
Right.
and doing well?
Right.
So, we need to be very, very careful to let things go, especially when we're trying to manifest. You can't have struggle and motivation as the same energy working together.
Right.
They're complete opposite. So for him to move away from struggle, he needs to get motivated and start doing things to move forward.
Right. So in a nutshell, it's just, I am so preoccupied with things. Just not stop. What the heck is going on, man? It's so important to let go. It is so important and it's really easy to do. You know how you do it? You just do it.
Yeah.
You don't think about it. You say, I'm not thinking about this anymore. It's not worth it. It's taking up too much rent-free space in your brain. Let it go. Don't overthink the process. Just do it.
If you're finding it difficult to let go of something, you need to really stop and ask yourself, what is it in me that is gaining from holding on to something like this? Because it might be that you just enjoy drama. There are people out there that enjoy drama.
Drama queens.
Yeah, or that actually just want to get sympathy from everybody, and they're creating scenarios all the time subconsciously to feel needed and to feel loved by getting the sympathy. So you need to really be honest with yourself if you're not able to let go of it at a certain point.
Yeah, and that goes hand in hand with forgiveness again.
Yeah.
Stuff,
Yeah.
So, and before you let go, I guess that's the prerequisite. The prerequisite of letting go is forgiving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. And
It's got nothing to do with the other person. It's got to do with yourself.
Hey, there's a common thread here. When you mind your business and
Yeah.
you forget, you're gonna let go. Hey. Yeah. So what I like to do now is ask a very important question. And for the other spiritual groups, I hope this doesn't offend you, but for those who have been watching us, know what I mean. Sally, have you masturbated today? You have not masturbated today. Guys, it's important that we masturbate every day. We live our lives through masturbation. Now, what does that mean? All right, what are you doing, dog?
Masturbating.
Sally, you're fired. We must learn to live a masturbatory life. And that has nothing to do with sex whatsoever. Nothing to do with sexual physicality. However, if you've ever experienced that, you can understand what I mean when I say live your life in a masturbatory fashion. Meaning, when you live your life, you use the capacity that you have if you're physically partaking in that. You use that same frame of mind and you block everything else out that's negative, everything else out that is hindering you from reaching your climax, from reaching your goal of happiness, from reaching your levels of success. That's living in masturbatorily. You know, so I keep saying that because people get thrown off by it, but it makes so much sense.
Well, we were just talking the other day about how high on life we were feeling. Do you remember that day?
Yes.
We actually felt like, you know, when you hit really high stages of euphoria when you're doing meditation and
Yes.
stuff, we were actually feeling that, and it was just all the things that were falling into place and just feeling that. So that's what he actually means is reaching that euphoric moment.
Right.
And you know, it's an interesting way of saying it and looking at it, because that's what we're supposed to be here for. Life is meant to be pleasurable, life is meant to be joyful, but for some reason, through our upbringing and through what we're being told by our parents and what we're observing, life is meant to be hard and struggling and pain. No, it's not.
Not at all.
It really isn't.
It's not at all.
It really
Asia
isn't.
is saying hi.
Hi,
Asia. So earlier I was talking about the downs. You know, me experiencing a down this week, which was not a down at all.
No.
Because I was, I had two residencies here, right?
Mm-hmm.
One was at Maggie Chu's and one was at King Power Mahanakan, which is the tallest building in Asia, and I was singing on the rooftop. It was a wonderful experience for me just because I've never sang on top of 78 floors. However, the downside is that it was very touristy and people were busy taking pictures with you or whatever, but not really paying attention to the show per se.
Yeah.
So while I was enjoying the new experience, it wasn't really what I know I'm here to do, and that's encourage, enlighten, and touch people, you know, collectively and personally through the music.
Yeah.
And I was more of an attraction than, you know, the entertainer, more of an attraction.
And it was very hard to connect.
Right, well, you work up there, so you know.
Yeah.
So in the back of my mind, while I was being very, my dog was biting my pants. Stop it. While I was being very grateful for the opportunity, in the back of my mind, I said, wow, I wish there was something else, because I'm really not really feeling this. So you have to be careful what you ask for, because in this case, it's reverse manifestation. So she and I, you're learning this for the first time, Sally, right? So we're sitting down at a restaurant last night, and I get a call. And the call I get is so weird. I'm calling my drummer to tell him he does not have to work on a Wednesday, which is the days that we work in Mahanakan. I'm calling him to tell him I don't want to use him Wednesday because I'm going to use another drummer. But I'm still going back and forth with my brain, and I'm going, oh gosh, this is such a headache all the time, every week. No sooner than I said that, did I get a call from the big boss at Mahanakan saying, listen, we're having some visa, passport, whole 9 issues, we're shutting everything down. We're not going to use you or anybody right now. And I was like, initially, I was thinking, oh my gosh, I hate to tell my guys, that, you know, whatever. And then Debbie was like, listen, everything happens for a reason. Sure enough, every musician that I called said to me, that's a blessing in disguise because they're not who we want. Everyone. And then today I got a couple offers that came in. So,
well, this is what I said to you earlier on about the universe moving the furniture of your life around in order to make way for something better.
Some new furniture, baby.
You know, or as you know, some people say, is God doesn't close a door without opening a window or whatever, whichever way you want to put it. When you are looking for something better, something maybe you've never had before, something old needs to go in order for that to come, because it's an energy that's blocking, it's creating resistance. And when we're manifesting, we've talked about this before, this is the part where people freak out and they start trying to cling on to actually what's being removed, and then starting to feel remorseful and sad and upset and panicked and stressed, and then suddenly, where's your manifestation energy going?
Right.
There isn't any, because now your vibrations drop, you're in pure panic, and then you're going, oh no, everything's gone wrong. Why is my life gone like this? Why am I not manifesting anymore? Guys, this is the moment to stay in your vibration and recognize it's a learning curve. The universe is moving something around because something else is coming, and stay in your high vibration. Within a day, already new things are coming.
Not even 24 hours. Hey,
So
Nina said hi. Hi, Nina. And Corey. Hey, Corey. What's up, man? Corey is an officer. He's a police officer in Trenton, New Jersey, where I grew up. So he's like officer friendly.
So yeah, it's really, really important to keep your vibration high and recognize it's just a test. You know, another way of looking at it is the universe isn't going to give you a surprise of something better if you haven't passed the test to show you can manage it.
Say that again? No, I don't.
If you are going to get something you've never had before, sometimes your belief system needs to change, or you will actually reject it.
Well, yeah, but that's the same thing I say. If you want different results, you got to do different things.
Yeah, but also there can be something that comes that maybe could create fear in a person if their belief system hasn't changed to more.
Yeah, but it's only going to create fear if you're a person that accepts fear.
That's true.
I'm not.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
But for other people out there, sometimes this is what happens.
Yeah, that's true. But y'all, listen,
They put a limitation.
y'all don't be afraid of anything. Nothing. There's nothing to be fearful about.
Fear is an illusion anyway.
It's all an illusion, and then you feel like a jerk because you failed because of an illusion.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? No, ma'am.
I heard this saying today, I liked it. We're told when we're growing up, oh, have this and this and this to fall back on, and this is in case, that comes from a place of fear.
I heard that.
Have this. So I heard the person say, don't fall back, fall forward. Make your mistake, but fall forward. Allow everything to help you push forward, not go back.
I don't subscribe to that. I don't subscribe to that. And in a theoretically, the safe place would be to be encouraged to have something to fall back on. Mm-hmm. Right? Now, although I was a makeup artist, successful one for many years on the side or whatever, and producing whatever, but that was nothing to fall back on as part of my creativity. Mm-hmm. But I've never had a plan B. Exactly. I've never had a plan B.
No, I haven't either. No, I haven't either.
So my advice is not to. Your plan B should always be in alignment with what your plan A is.
Exactly.
It should always be in alignment with your passion. So if you love music, don't be a doggone shoe salesman. Go work in a record store, or for distribution. Do something that is in alignment with your passion.
Exactly.
Sally, can we talk about passion and not losing me next week? Can you write that down? Thank you. So listen, let us segue into this. So, I said this about 15 minutes ago and I forgot. A friend of mine named Benny wrote in and asked a question. And when he first posed the question to me for a topic for spiritual sessions, I had to think about how his question played into spirituality. And it does. And the question was this: is there a difference between the treatment of transgenders here versus America? Is there a difference in the? You see, you don't even get it. Is there a difference in the treatment of transgenders here or in America? And Sally is Asian, so she said to me, Sally, there are transgenders being murdered by the day because of them being transgender. By the day, like record numbers of transgender murders. Right. Which is absolutely ridiculous, and it's horrible. It's alarming. However, it's only horrible and alarming to those at home because of the murder, and not because, I don't know how to say this. It's shocking. Right? People are up in arms because it's a murder, right? As you stop eating my pants, man. People are up in arms because it's a murder, and it should be. Mm-hmm. But what they're not understanding is that what's more horrible is the reason.
Oh, okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So where spirituality comes into play here is that acceptance is what spirituality is really all about.
Yeah.
Acceptance.
Yeah.
And here in Asia, especially Bangkok, the transgender community is not only accepted, but it's celebrated.
Yeah.
It's celebrated. For instance, I've heard of at least 20 situations where the male or female wanted to change their genders, and the family of the person paid for the operation. Mm-hmm. Because their concern is that their offspring does not end up having mental problems, does not end up being unhappy, does not end up being on drugs, or worse yet, committing suicide. So they do whatever they can and can afford to assist. And meanwhile, in the Western world, they're killing people because of their differences. So I would think that, hey, people don't dislike me for saying this, but I think that this side of the world is definitely more in tune spiritually. Naturally, it's been inbred. See, in America, we're doing the Christianity thing. There's various religions, but the Christianity things and different religions that are supposed to be the way, this, that, and the other. And on this side of the continent, it's more about being happy. It's more spiritual. It's about the way you live your life. You know. Mm-hmm. So, I guess my answer to Benny is yes. There's a huge difference, but there's male, there's female, there's transgender, and transgender is equal with the male and the female. It is what it is. It's not a thing. It's not a thing at all. It's only a thing for me is when one of the most beautiful, and you know you've been with me, women walk by me and I go hi and they go, how you doing? Like, oh no, go ahead, got me again. But it just is what it is.
Well, the irony is, I studied an anthropology, degree in anthropology, and most of the...
You got what?
A degree in anthropology.
A degree in anthropology?
Yes, I do.
Fancy.
Yes.
All right,
The point is, we had to study a lot of tribes and a lot of cultures around the world, mm-hmm. and what blew me away was how revered transgenders are within the culture.
Revered?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, like considered royalty, and a lot of them are actually the shamans, the medicine men, the spiritual counselors, the spiritual that they go to. And within their culture, it's taught to them that they're unique.
And they are.
And they are, but they're revered because they're unique. They're seen as blessed, and they're seen as being very, having a lot to offer to give. So it's really upbringing and culture and how the belief systems that people have been created for people that is creating the hate. Mm-hmm. It's actually got nothing to do with, it's the belief system that's being created.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Mostly in the West, it seems.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about this course you've been doing all week, and what is it?
Mm-hmm. I've been teaching a course in development of psychic awareness. Mm-hmm. So all of us have an innate ability mm-hmm. to be able to tap in to our intuition mm-hmm. and to be able to use it. But a lot of us don't have the tools mm-hmm. in order to be able to really see how far you can take it mm-hmm. in a place that's safe and in a natural way. Mm-hmm. And so I've been teaching a pilot from Australia who flew in not on his own plane, but just flew. Just he found me.
His arms must have been tired.
But it was very interesting how he found me, again, manifestation, because I was saying, I'd love to be doing more courses at the moment in some psychic development. I kind of feel like I could do another one, because it's actually a very long course. It's 7 full days, but I thought, I'm ready for one of those. And he actually Googled yoga in Chiang Mai, and my name came up, and he read and said, that's what I want. And he said,
where's Chiang Mai?
Chiang Mai's in the north.
Okay. Okay.
He just felt, he just said something just told him to come along. He said, I have no idea, but he actually said that it was a box that he'd wanted to tick for a very long time, in sort of embracing, because he saw stuff when he was younger and it was poo-pooed, and he didn't really know that there was somebody that could actually teach him safely how to be able to just explore his own abilities. So it's been wonderful. He's had some mind-blowing experiences, like, I don't know what to do with this, this is amazing. So it's very healing for him. It's very, very healing.
Is that the course Asian I did with you? Oh no.
No, you did the tarot card course with me.
No. All right, so I'm in Asia. I've done a lot of stuff with this lady. This girl, please.
The soul compass meditation.
Yes, that's how that is.
No, that's just a meditation. No, this is a meditation course, but it's not really meditation. It's kind of like getting people into very deep states of trance and helping them to access and build points of reference, working psychically or energetically to be able to tap into things. So, for example, if you want to go for a job interview and you want that to go really well, and you're like, I'm worrying about tomorrow. Sally, you knew this. Sally's done this course with me. And she was going for a job interview and she was very apprehensive. And I said, well, go into your workshop and go in and meet the person. You know what the person you're going to be interviewed looks like. Go in and meet the person in your workshop, your psychic workshop, and meet with this person and have an experience of what that interview is going to be like beforehand. So if there's any kind of questions they might ask you you're not prepared for, that it can happen on that level. Okay. So she was able to go in and have the interview the next day. And
it works wonders.
So it's actually, of course, it's not about, I'm the psychic. It actually helps you manage just about everything that ever happened to you in your life.
So let me ask you this.
Yes.
If people are interested in taking this course with you, can it be done online, or does this something?
No, it needs to be a person. It has to be
so
a person.
So people watching spiritual sessions, is there anything that they can receive from you online? Tarots? Is there something online that they can get?
I've taught the tarot card course. It's actually called the Intuitive Awareness course, because it's not just about using cards. It's actually tapping in and channeling information again from your intuition and using the cards with that. So it's actually...
So you can teach people how to read tarots online?
Yeah.
Alright, so I have a question. Segue. I've seen online where, and it's come up on my feed too, where you actually pick your own cards online. Does that work?
Okay.
I think it's a hoax. I'm sorry.
Okay. Let me put it this way.
I think it's malarkey.
It's fun. It really depends on what you're looking for. I've done it, and it's a great bit of fun. And they're written in such a way that it can the meaning of the card, that it can resonate with just about everybody at every moment.
Yeah, but we are we're people who are in turn. I mean, we're people who walk the walk. We're in the light. We're we're not that lay person.
Yeah.
But for the lay person who is struggling and looking for answers, I think that it's very, very irresponsible for companies and even readers to want people's money to just make them believe that they can get an authentic tarot card reading through the dog computer.
Sure, but I mean, look at a lot of the things that are online. I mean, you can get these exercise machines and see people with abs, and people buy them. They use them twice at home. They do stomach exercise and they throw
Two different things.
No,
because I'm gonna tell you why. I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off, but I am. Because the ad machine and the look younger thing and all that crap is all exterior. Right? When I am grieving over a dying mother and I want to know what and then I go online, that's totally emotional, that's totally mental. I will jump off a building. You understand what I'm saying? And I think for those who that's why you have to be really careful of phonies, because the end result could be devastating.
No, it is.
Because you're playing with people's minds and playing with people's emotions. You know, I have a vocal student here who loves tarots on the computer. And she finds it fascinating and finds things that are coincidental and, like we say, the generality of it all, right? Generalization of it all. But it's dangerous. But she's aware as well. She's psychically aware. But for those who are looking for answers, it's very, very dangerous. It's like playing with a freaking Ouija board.
Okay, there's two kinds of people. There's people who are in a situation that don't really want to change it, and they like going on those sites because it kind of, they can interpret it whatever way they want to based on their situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they can keep going, oh, this guy's going to keep coming back to me. Look, it said this, look, it said that. And they're in a place where they're entertaining whatever it is they're wanting to happen rather than what is actually going to happen.
Yeah, I feel you. And I agree.
When people come to someone like me, they're ready for the change. They want the truth. They want the guidance. They're ready to make forward. They're not there for entertainment. They're there because they want to move forward and they want to heal their lives and change what's going on in it. They're not going to come for entertainment for the most part.
Yeah, I hear you, but in agreeing with you, there are people who do want to change, who don't have access to you. And this is another reason why I'm really glad we're doing this show, because she can be reached at Spiritual Sessions with Debbie Creagh. It's not this show, Spiritual Sessions, right? And there are ways that you can contact Debbie and other people who are more credible like Debbie. But it's like, all right, I'll tell you what, like the old psychic, I don't know if you guys have them here, psychic hotlines.
Oh, yeah.
Just.
Yeah. But it's preying on people.
That's the word. It's preying on people. Yeah. Because only the weak-minded, fearful person is actually seeking for the most help, and will try to get answers from anywhere.
Yeah, sure.
So you have these major corporations going, okay, can you act like a psychic? Can you? And it's so sad. So be careful.
I've had, in 15 years of doing readings for people, I've had 6 people who came to me for a reading, and they told me either on the day or after that they were going to actually kill themselves because of a reading they had from another psychic.
That's my point.
And it really brings it home all the time, the responsibility you have when someone is in your space. They're coming for help, they're coming for guidance. And there are people that are there and they're telling people dark things who are vulnerable, and these people are absorbing it and believing it. And, you know, I just said, just leave what they've said outside the door, because a person that is working directly with spirit from the highest of good would never, ever channel something like that. It just is, it's not possible, guys. It's only ever, look, when you get stuck in your life and you come, we talked a little bit about getting stuck last night, but as a psychic, as a spiritual guide, person who guides people, when you have a path in life and you're continuing to do the same thing that you've been doing all along and you keep getting stuck, it's because you're out of alignment with your purpose. You're out of alignment with something in your life. So you need to have the guidance to put you back on track. When you're back on track, bad things don't keep happening to you. Things happen to you because you're out of alignment with your purpose, with your life. So that's actually there to wake you up. It's not there to hurt you. So when these people are telling you more and more and more negative stuff, it's only moving you more off your path, you know? So people that are actually really genuinely channeling for you are going to make you feel good. They're going to put you back on path, give you tools, give you guidance in order for you to have hope again and move forward with confidence. People that are telling you anything else other than that are not the real deal. It's that simple. It really is that simple. So be careful.
So listen.
Nina agrees.
It's true. It's the devil truth. So I think we should confess.
Oh?
Yeah.
What are we confessing?
We're confessing that I've had such a crazy week with moving and new dog that I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. To a point where Debbie and I, because she had her client, and she has no idea. She has no idea what's going on. None.
No idea what's going to come out of it.
She had a client today, and she works out of her home, and she had a client today, a 7-day client on the 3rd day, and so forth on the 4th day. So we decided that we were going to what is that? What is that? Okay. Yep. It's the spirits telling me exactly what I was going to say. Anyway, hello, what is that? Okay. Well, there we have it. But anyway, what I was going to say is I'm really, really, really exhausted from this week. I just unpacked. I moved in last night, packed today, got the new dog today, who is not giving me, and he fell in love instantly. He's not giving me any chance to do this show and keep my concentration, man. And Debbie and I met for dinner this evening after her client, and we finally met, and then for some reason the time went from 6:30 to 8:05. We started at 8:30, so we're sitting, I don't know it's just crazy. So at 8:05, we're in the restaurant at 5 minutes to 8. Sally, our producer, calls us on the phone and says, we have a show. Well, what time is it? Oh, it's 5 minutes to 8. I have no spiritual sessions t-shirt on, baseball hat, bad hair, the dog won't leave us alone. Listen, subscribe and share. I know we did not do the full hour, but is it all right?
No, it's cool.
Oh gosh, thank you guys.
Well, we really came on this evening because we wanted to share a little bit more about the manifestation and a little bit more about letting go, because this has been kind of our experiences. It has really been an incredibly amazing week, but there's been a lot going on.
So much.
We've had our visa trips.
We didn't tell you guys about our visa trip. That's next week. Sally, please let me tell about the visa trip. Oh my God.
Actually, we didn't say it. No,
oh God. All right, so quickly. All right. No.
Okay, next week.
But all right, so I'll just say a little bit. All right, so the visa trip is 4 hours up.
Yeah.
Okay. There was a gentleman, so it's a van. It's like a 12-passenger van. And you're driving for 4 hours up, 1 hour to do your business, 4 hours back. There was a guy who sat in the front of the van with the driver. Debbie and I are in the seat behind that, who talked loudly to the driver for 4 hours straight. So much so the people behind us were going to be shut the hell up already. I mean, just because when it's 4 hours, people want to take a nap. They want to go to sleep. It was the worst.
He was an advertisement for Duracell batteries. He really was. However, the more important thing about that trip actually was something that an epiphany I came to. So I had a very unpleasant experience.
And that's the part of what I was saying about the downs.
Yeah, I had a very horror. I mean, some of people here know what a horror story is when you do a visa run and it goes desperately wrong. But I had a horror story 5 years ago. Let's just say 5 years ago in Laos, where there was a shakedown and all that kind of stuff with police. And it was very unpleasant, and I ended up staying in Laos for 6 days, getting stuck there. And it created a lot of fear in me that I had to work through. I mean, I created a solution within 2 days of coming back to Bangkok, and of course Spirit worked for me. But it definitely, it was a big situation, and I didn't really have the right people around me at that time.
Come on, tell a story.
I didn't have the right people around me at that time in my life to help me to really process what happened. So I just moved forward, and I got over it myself. So go into 5 years later, and I'm on my first visa run in 5 years, and I have my bestie with me coming this time. And he had no idea of what I had endured and gone through 5 years ago, so I'm telling him in the van. So we get there, and someone starts pulling me aside and starting saying a little bit of negative stuff about my passport. And he came over and said to me, listen, this is a complete different situation. Nothing's going to happen to you on my watch.
Not on my watch.
Remember, our energy's together. It's all going to be fine. And just the feeling of that support and having the right person with me just kind of said, right, I'm letting this go. This is going to be a very, very different experience. We ended up having a joke with the immigration police. They were laughing. Boom, boom, boom. Stamp, stamp, stamp. Everything was fine.
It's wonderful.
It was
Great.
it was actually like a day trip. We had a wonderful time. We laughed and joked the whole way in the van. And what I understood at the time was that year, that 5 years, and what I'd gone through. I went through a lot of learning in that 5 years, and I was very humbled by a lot of things and how I grew and how I moved in myself. I actually embraced that 5 years and everything that I learned from it. But it was like a cancellation, wasn't it? It was like.
But and it's amazing because for the first time since I've known Debbie for a year now, is the first time that I saw fear coming back. To a point, if you remember, I said, "Are your eyes tearing up?" Like, I said, "Stop that crap right now! Not on my watch. You know who we are. Stop that." And sure enough, we went to the window and everything was beautiful. But this negative energy, this negative person, tried to instill fear. That is how that. Oh God! I said I had to leave. But hi, India. But that is how the negative and lower vibrations work in this thing. The higher yours are, understand the lower vibrations start to attach themselves to you. So this person who did not work for immigration, did not have anything to do with anything, but except act like an expert, instilled such fear in her, it triggered what happened to her 5 years ago. I knew nothing about it. And all I knew was, I don't know who the heck this person is, but it's bull crap, and we're moving forward. Absolutely, positively not. And as soon as she removed that fear, her vibration transmitted to the immigration officers, and everything was easy peasy.
It was a wonderful learning curve for me, being in a situation that could have gone the way the other one had, and just the shift of energy very quickly, and recognizing, no, bring your vibration back up, Deb, and having him there supporting me.
Well, reminding me.
But it was a test of, let's see if you've learned what you're supposed to in those 5 years.
And then we have to talk about the test of why the test is a test. We don't have time tonight. Why the test is a test.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because you were challenged. The whole reason we were there is because of the test. Right? Sally, our producer, Sally, are you answering the question? I told you had to go. The dog was biting my pants. All right, Sally is saying, how do you protect your energy? You go. Sally's asking, how do you protect your energy? I sage stuff. Go ahead.
Well, sage is very good.
I protect myself with sage, but yeah. But how?
Okay. Well, we're not going to walk around. Well, maybe we do. We're not all going to walk around.
What is that supposed to be?
Sage in our hand, being able to smudge ourselves.
Right.
Obviously, sage is very good for
for
smudging and everything.
Yeah, but no, I don't know what you meant. But specifically, how does one protect their energy?
Well, there's so many different techniques. Personally, myself, I put myself in white light, and I make that light go expand from my body quite far out.
Okay, nobody understands that. Break that down, put the light in your body and expand.
Everybody know what light looks like. Imagine yourself in a bowl of light.
Imagine yourself.
And each breath you take, that light gets brighter and stronger. And you can almost feel the vibration of that light as it moves around you. And you allow that sensation and that brightness to grow and expand. And you allow that light to go as far as you need it to be to feel completely safe. Right? How did that feel?
Nice.
How long did that take?
Not long at all.
Exactly.
No, well, Sally, that's how you protect your energy. Get the light, girl. Get the light. All right, guys. For real. So remember, Sally, write down the test for next week. Passion for next week. And I promise you, we will be rested. Things will have slowed down a bit, and we'll be able to answer any questions you have. Feel free to, because we do what's called watch parties, where we show repeats and watch it with you. So be sure to ask us questions, topics you'd like to discuss, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page, because maybe by January, we're gonna set ourselves up for success. So we're not gonna. But we're gonna manifest, but we're not gonna set ourselves. Right, we're only setting ourselves up for success. So if it's divine order that it happened after January, okay. But we would like to, by January, have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube so that we can use the YouTube platform to go live.
What we'd also really like is you guys to write in with questions and ideas. Please stop being shy and calling me and just giving me feedback. And you're not writing anything when you're watching. I went to a sales pitch thing, remember?
Yes.
At the beginning of the week. Everybody in the room, 20 people, walked up and said, we love spiritual sessions. I'm like, you never tick like, you never say anything, you never share. We don't know what the feedback's going to be if you don't give it. Feedback is feedback.
Okay, so that's the way Debbie feels. I really don't care. I mean, that's the way she cares. That's the way she, because I talk to you guys and I'm fine. But what needs to happen is, whether you ask her a question or not, I need you to subscribe to the YouTube page. Now, if you don't say nothing, just go push the button so we can have 1,000 people and we can broadcast from YouTube. Now, if you don't ever want to say nothing, but please subscribe and share.
Yeah.
But on a serious note, we would really like to know firsthand what your thoughts are and what your questions are. So don't be strangers. Just hit us up. And if you don't, want to watch the full hour, just come back to it. And we do. Not only do we do the watch parties, we're already all our episodes, Sally, are up on the YouTube channel, right? So previous episodes are on the YouTube channel as well. So come on, guys, let's do this thing. So, can we go now?
Yes.
Because my dog won't stop biting my leg. He loves me to death.
I know.
I love it. So, guys, say hi to Phoenix. If you don't want to say hi to us, at least say hi to Phoenix, all right? All right, so guys, until next week, your day is designed in perfection. Anything that goes against that perfection is a trap. Don't fall for it.